am Makoto Ogawa, a photographer living in Japan. I live in Japan without any major worries. To those affected by the massive earthquake that occurred in Turkey and Syria on February 20, 2023. I sincerely hope that a peaceful daily life will return to everyone's hearts as soon as possible. I know there are various problems in the world. People who were wrapped in deep sorrow, unable to shed tears, and gave up on everything. People who feel the danger of life and can't help but tremble. People who have lost their place of existence due to unreasonable violence. People who have been drowned in a vortex of information that is unmanageable. The calls for help are not only coming from those affected by this earthquake, and the reality that there are many people who cannot speak up. I was wondering what we can do while watching the daily reports of the damage caused by the large earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. For a long time, I worked for an NPO that distributes timely information on city security and disaster prevention to mobile devices. In 2011, the Great East Japan earthquake struck, and more than 20,000 people were affected and died. The tsunami also caused an accident at a nuclear power plant, creating a catastrophe that engulfed the world. At that time, I was involved in the operation of an intermediate support organization that organizes and relays information and relief supplies and matches them with local needs. I was mainly involved in two-way information distribution using SNS and creating a mechanism for smoothly continuing information distribution. After that, I was involved in supporting evacuees and those who moved after the nuclear power plant accident. Currently, while living a minimalist lifestyle, he continues his creative activities with a focus on photography. Even after being involved in the support of many disasters that occurred in Japan, many disasters and tragedies continue in the world. However, only a few donations that I do not know where and how it is used is a small donation. That was a big dissatisfaction in my heart. I usually do not actively check news. I learned a few days later about this earthquake. Turkey is a country with a history of mutual assistance with Japan. Now I thought I had to do what I could. At that time, I repeated various test posts to resume the YouTube channel. So I decided to deliver a message on YouTube. The local situation can only be known from the news media. So, I wanted to send a message that suits more local situation, so I asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a population intelligence service that is now attracting attention around the world. Learn data from the internet around the world and propose the answer I want based on that information. AI was wonderful and a great message was completed in a few seconds. I feel a great discomfort in the finished sentence. Probably because my way of thinking or the desire to convey is not reflected. After all, I decided not to use AI. My message is undoubtedly expressed in my own words. It may be the true feeling at the bottom of my heart. I can't understand not only Turkish and Arabic, but also English. I am studying English little by little at Duolingo every day. Unfortunately, there is no pronunciation that many people can understand. In other words, all messages are mechanical audio read by Google Translate. The same is true for translation. Even with hashtags, it is difficult to judge what words are appropriate. Moreover, Arabic is a horizontal writing from right to left, which is unfamiliar to Japanese, so it is difficult to change one letter. I want to believe that my true intention is transmitted in any language. Currently, we have set various distribution time for each language and check access trends. What we learned, it turns out that the rhythm of life is completely different for each language. In some time, trial and error continue to reach many people. Since Japan is a single ethnic island country, there is no big difference in culture in Japan. However, there are places where they speak the same Japanese, but they do not understand at all. Regarding religion, there have been Shinto since ancient times in Japan. Buddhism is transmitted from the continent, and many Japanese do not know the difference between Shinto and Buddhism. Many Japanese do not even know the difference between Shinto and Buddhism. And many say that they have no religion. But this is a little different. Shinto and Buddhism have penetrated their daily lives so that nobody is conscious in Japan anymore. In other words, Japan may be one of the countries where religions are the most in everyday life. I grew up in such a country. But as many Japanese people do, I am not living on my main religion. For us, monotheism, such as Islam and Christianity, has many parts that we cannot understand. I hope that even a message will be delivered in consideration of culture and religion. But the reality is difficult. There may be many people who feel disgust and uncomfortable in my message. I myself understand that. I don't think it's just a matter of saying. However, it is true that there are religions and ideas that deny my sexual minority. I dared to say something so that anyone who feels something from my message does not have to worry. I am queer. Queer is also called questioning. It means a person who has not defined sexual orientation or gender. In other words, I live in gender that is neither men nor women. This is my most important identity. I think like this. All disasters and tragedies that occur in the world will never end as long as the people who have experienced them and their records remain. They are sometimes passed down to the future in the form of lessons. In the event of a disaster, broken buildings and deceased people will never return again. Even if the building is rebuilt, it will never return. In other words, what has been lost in a disaster can only be rebuilt by overwriting with a new one. However, physical things can eventually be rebuilt. However, negative memories such as the sadness and regrets permeating the hearts of the people who live now distort their hearts for a long time. The only way to confront them is to change yourself in some way. This message will continue. It is not just for the victim. There are a lot of people who are hurt by their gropes, just like me. I want to be not only for the victims, but also to those people. When this channel grows and gets earned, I will donate all of that revenue. I hope that seeing this channel will come to help anyone can help. Japanese Makoto Ogawa.